Welcome to the Colby College Museum of Art's virtual Art Plus Conversation program, which shines a spotlight on current exhibitions and works of art on display at the museum. I'm Chris Bergquist, the Merkin Curator of Education and Engagement, and although we are currently closed, the museum continues to offer an array of virtual programs and activities through Museum at Home, which is available on our website and through social media channels, and you'll find this program there. This virtual program offers a glimpse into calligraphy, one of the art forms featured in the exhibition The Sea in a Jug, the Welch collection of Islamic and Indian art. The exhibition features secular and religious art made by both Muslims and non-Muslims living in places defined or influenced by Islam. There are paintings, drawings, sculptures, and ornamental objects dating from the 13th to the 20th century. This exhibition was organized in collaboration with Marta Ameri, assistant professor in the art department here at Colby College, and students in her course, Art of the Islamic Book. In this program, Maine artist Kifah Abdulla will help us connect the past to the present. He will demonstrate the art of calligraphy and share how he incorporates calligraphy into his own artistic practice. Kifah Abdulla is an artist, poet, writer, performer, teacher, and activist. Originally from Iraq, he lived for many years as a refugee in Jordan and Holland before becoming a U.S. citizen. Kifah teaches the Arabic language in private lessons. He also has taught at Southern Maine Community College and also has taught calligraphy at Maine College of Art. In his own practice, Kifah has created Rebel, Take Action, an art project and movement that uses art to talk about social and environmental issues we face today. His newest book, Mountains Without Peaks, is a memoir about his life in Baghdad in the early 1980s. Compulsory military service during the Iraq-Iran War, and being captured as a prisoner of war. Kifah lives and works in Portland, Maine, but also has a studio space in Biddeford at Engine, where this program was recorded and filmed.
I grew up in Baghdad. And Baghdad, when you say that, the golden age, but I'm an artist even at that time, but also that in education system, in the schools, we start, the children start learning to write calligraphy. It's not just like for handwriting, but to write calligraphy, like as an art form. To be a calligrapher, so you need to follow rules. So each style has its own rules. So it's not all the style the same. Each style has its own rules. Do you know the word muallim? In that some of that the Sufi cultures or Sufism, they say you need, the same like in yoga, you need the practice of that kind. You need an exact teacher. So the same thing like calligraphers, they have an exact teacher. And to work with them, because this is just an imagine about the imitation and repetition. To be a calligrapher, you need to be patient. Yeah, honestly, yes. So if you are patient, this is good for you to be a calligrapher or to practice, like a calligraphy, because you need the time, repetition, and so many times. So this is why that the teachers, the calligraphers, they give certificate to someone to keep the process. So one of my neighbors, he is the very well known in the Arabic countries as a professional calligrapher. In his life experience as a teacher, he gave only one student a certificate to be a calligrapher. So when I teach, I ask the students, do you want to be a calligrapher or you want to be an artist? So if you want to be a calligrapher, you need to follow the rules. If you want to work on like naskh calligraphy, so you need to follow the rules on how to write naskh calligraphy, like this. But if you want to be an artist, so the way that you use that the calligraphy as an element in contemporary art. So you have more freedom about this. When we talk about the traditional way to write calligraphy, so they don't, it's not maybe they don't like someone to break the rules. But the second school, this is the school that established or founded in the 20th century, in 50s. It's called al-hurufiyya, that means the letters. This is school that one of my teachers, he was one of the pioneers from that school. And to use that, the calligraphy as an element in contemporary art. So I teach the calligraphy that the two schools.
Okay.
I teach calligraphy that to be as a calligrapher to be traditional ways, to follow the rules of calligraphy. But also I teach that the second school, the hurufiyya. Yeah. So the two schools, like they flow streams that in parallel ways.
Mm-hmm.
It's not this to affect on that way. No, it's just like. But you see now this time you see that the al-hurufiyya, that how to use calligraphy in contemporary art more than the traditional ways. So I think because of that, the world became like as a village. I was a refugee, so I found for myself like a new home. I want to find for my letters like a home, like me, to be fit with this culture. I'm working hard, I'm establishing here for Arabic language or calligraphy to be part of this culture. It's not just like to be a guest. When we talk about American culture, when we talk about German culture like this, there's a box. For my letters, I want to be for them like international, like a global. It's not just like, this is Arabic. It's not that box. When I introduce myself, always I say I'm a global citizen. So imagine this. I want for my letters to be the same like me. Because I don't want to put myself in a box, in that box of just calligraphy. I teach the rules, yes. But for my art, I want for them to be like me when I describe myself, like I'm a rebel. Mm-hmm. So I want for my letters to be like me. I want to be myself. I want to be like to be Kifah. Have you seen the Japanese? But this is for Arabic. So I want to write that something about anti-racist So this is like an Arabic land in Unsuriyah. This is la. So this is that in Arabic, say la, that means no. No for racism. So at the end you see that abstraction, but with meaning when I use that Arabic calligraphy in activism. So even my philosophy for activism, for activists, not to be just an activist, but to be artistic activist, to make art, to create something. So this is what I'm working on.